President Tinubu departs Riyadh after attending the Joint Arab Islamic Summit and the Middle East. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria seals agreement with Dangote Refinery to lift petroleum products directly.
We are going to start lifting directly through Dangote.
House of Representatives promises reforms to eliminate corruption in Nigeria's pension management. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 3 on Nta News24. We're reaching you live from Abuja on Lajide Bello. President Bola Tinubu has departed Riyadh, Saudi Arabia after attending the extraordinary Joint Arab Islamic Summit, which focused on the current situation in the Middle East. The presidential airplane took off from the King Abdul Aziz International Airport at about 3:30 p.m. local time. The one-day summit was attended by heads of state and government of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, and the League of Arab States. At the summit on Monday, President Tinubu called for an end to Israeli aggression in Gaza, acknowledging that the conflict has persisted for far too long, inflicting unmeasurable suffering, and expressed deep concern on the humanitarian conditions in Gaza. Reiterating Nigeria's call for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, President Tinubu affirmed the country's support for a two-state solution where both Israel and Palestinians can coexist in security and dignity. He called for the establishment of a dedicated secretariat to implement the resolutions of the summit and urged the leaders to mandate a select head of government to converse support globally and oversee the implementation of the summit resolutions. After the summit, President Tinubu also had an audience with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Details of the discussions is yet to be known. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has sealed an agreement with Dangote Refinery to lift products directly. IPMAN National President Abubakar Mai-Gandi confirmed this in Abuja. Lydia Sampson reports.
The agreement coming after a series of events, both a partnership that will ensure steady, affordable supply of petroleum products nationwide.
We didn't start lifting products with Dangote, but we get assurance we are going to start lifting directly through Dangote. And that is the reason why we call this CWC, to inform all members to get set for taking product through Dangote direct, not through the third party.
Citing backward integration benefits and positive impacts on Nigeria's foreign exchange market, he urged IPMAN members to rely on Dangote Refinery and other refineries for wide products to ensure job creation, as well as supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Speaking on pricing, Garima expressed optimism that further negotiations with Dangote will yield lower rates. On compressed natural gas, the IPMAN president said the association is preparing for a seamless transition to CNG refill stations nationwide, stressing that IPMAN is committed to supporting the CNG initiative and partnering with the federal government for its overall success. This partnership is expected to increase efficiency, affordability, and economic growth for Nigeria's petroleum industry. A move expected to eliminate middlemen, reduce costs, and ensure steady supply. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited says, contrary to narratives being pushed in some sections of the media, it is untrue that it was sabotaging the refining of petroleum products in some domestic refineries in the country. Group Chief Executive Officer NNPC Limited Mele Kyari said these are the 42nd Nigerian Association of Petroleum Explorationists Annual International Conference and Exhibition. Lydia Sampson reports.
With the theme, Resolving the Nigerian Energy Dilemma, Energy Security, Sustainable Growth and Affordability, Kerry said NNPC Limited has been supportive of domestic refineries by providing them with the crude needed to refine petroleum products, reiterating a demonstration of such support, particularly as NNPC Limited is a part owner of Dangote Refineries and Petrochemical Company, currently with about 7.2% equity at stake in Dangote Refinery, valued at about $1 billion. NNPC Limited will not sabotage its own or any other refinery.
Tell you that every government avoided two things: having a single window for foreign exchange and taking out PMS subsidy or PMS on petroleum product. And we must congratulate this president for having the courage to stand, to do these things. What this will do, short term, yes, I agree completely, prices are high, but it's a great thing. You will see stability in two things. Our foreign exchange market will stabilize, no doubt about it. Inordinate consumption will be controlled.
On domestic refinery, he says media stunts about NNPC and NNPC allegedly sabotaging its domestic refining is far from the truth. He reiterates that oil is found in very many unexpected locations today across the world and people have choices. Therefore, NNPC Limited saw an opportunity to unlock supply to the domestic refineries, not just Dangote, but any other refinery that operates in the country. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
Keying into the federal government's vowed commitments to ensuring food security and economic growth, Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Jeffrey Naji, has flagged off the first phase of fertilizer distribution to farmers in Enugu State. Matthew Amoke has the report.
According to the minister, the fertilizer distribution is part of President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope food security strategy to support farmers in boosting agricultural productivity. He emphasized the importance of equitable distribution, urging leaders to ensure the fertilizer reaches the intended recipients.
We are laying emphasis in this government more on farming. And from farming, under science and tech, we want to start beneficiation of our raw material. Right. So that before we can do any exports, we have to add value, so that our people will make money, our people will be engaged.
Chairman APC Enugu State and Pro-Chancellor Federal University of Agriculture Umudike applauded the federal government for the inclusion of Enugu State farmers in this phase of fertilizer distribution and appealed to the benefiting farmers to put the fertilizers into good use.
I want to also appeal to party members that this will be distributed equitably. Let them take it to the well and distribute it equitably. Those who are in farming should get.
If in November, the federal government, through the Minister of Innovation, Science and Tech, is already giving fertilizer, that means that by February, farmers are preparing ground for farming.
Beneficiaries of the fertilizer, while thanking the government for the intervention, promised bumper harvest in the coming year.
Happy for the fact that I'm from Uzuwani, knowing fully well that our area, we are farmers. We do mainly in farming work.
It will help me very much. I'm cultivating anyara, pepper, and even yam. So it will help me so much next year.
In addition to the current distribution, the farmers have been assured of second phase of the exercise in no distant time. In Enugu, Matthew Amoke, Nta News.
The House Committee on Pension has pledged to initiate reforms that will address gaps and eliminate corruption in pension management and administration in Nigeria. During an oversight visit to the headquarters of the National Pension Commission in Abuja, Chairman House Committee on Pension Hussaini Jale urged the Commission to step up scrutiny of the operations of pension fund administrators towards achieving a robust, efficient and effective pension scheme.
Over the years, our pension system has faced challenges related to inefficiency, corruption, delayed payment, underfunding, and lack of inclusivity. Pensioners complain of difficulty assessing pension payments and the inadequacy of monthly payments. The current provision for the access to only 25% of pension funds open fulfillment of statutory requirements is deemed insufficient. Therefore, reforming the pension system is crucial to ensure that retirees live with their dignity and that workers have confidence in the system.
I expect this to continue in a routine manner going forward, where we are working cordially together and the committee brings issues to you so that you can partner with us and resolve those issues.
The lawmakers also requested PENCOM to look into the concerns of organizations seeking to exit the contributory pension scheme with a view to addressing sundry challenges. Political and public affairs analysts are demanding accountability at the subnational level of governance. They insist this will ensure speedy implementation of the Supreme Court judgment of local government autonomy. This formed part of the conversation on fast-tracking local government autonomy on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Kemina Williams monitored the conversation.
The quest for local government autonomy in Nigeria has been a recurring issue, which predates Nigeria's political independence. The struggle has thrown up various reforms, including the 1976 landmark reforms of the local government system in the country, aimed at democratizing the local government administration. Despite reform measures, the states have continued to maintain strong grip of control over local governments. Political analysts say this has contributed to the poverty level in the country as well as insecurity. They called on state governments to comply fully with the judgment for development to thrive.
I am happy that Nasarawa has abolished the state joint account. But when you go dive into the laws of the state, you will also see that the state is retaining the Local Government Service Commission and asking local government councils to pay 1% to it. The state created a local development councils and is asking local government to fund in by their 20% of their allocation. To me, this is completely at variance with the judgment of the Supreme Court.
Education, we are looking at health, all these things can be adequately tackled. For example, most of these criminals you have in this country today, they reside in the communities. So if local government if we have autonomy at the local government level, we will be able to fish out.
The local governments were not doing what they were expected to do with the payment of teacher salary. It was returned to the governors. Did we see any difference? What we need to do is to collectively build a citizen movement against impunity.
In order to ensure full implementation of local government financial autonomy in Nigeria, the analysts suggested some strategies, including stopping state independent electoral commissions from conducting local government elections.
Now, what was before the Supreme Court is the financial autonomy. Now, for you to have all of this, joint account, state independent electoral commission conducting election in the states, definitely this constitution has to be tinkered with.
They further advised the local governments to use their resources effectively to achieve development and change, driving improvements in infrastructure, education, healthcare, and economic opportunities for all. In Abuja, Kemini Williams, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 3 on Nta News24. More reports after this break.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to NTA News24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.
Thanks for being there. The National President of Ilorin Emirate Descendants Progressive Union, Abdul Mumini Ayo Abdul Malik, salutes the fascinating leadership style of the Emir of Ilorin and Chairman State Council of Chiefs, Ibrahim Sulugambari CFR, as he also described him as an outstandingly exemplary leader. The national president stated this on Friday while speaking with newsmen after participating in a special Jumat service to mark the 29th anniversary of the reign of the Emir at the Ilorin Central Jumat Mosque. Ibrahim Sulugambari emerged as the Emir in August 1995 and was formally installed on Saturday, November 11, 1995 as the 11th occupant of the prestigious throne. The community leader said that the Emir has been a consistent apostle of peace and prosperity for the good people of Ilorin Emirate and the generality of Nigerians. Abdul Malik, who acknowledged the Emir's support for the union before and since his installation, said the tremendous expansion and transformation witnessed by Ilorin Emirate and Kwara State since 1995 cannot be divorced from exciting leadership styles and prayers of the frontline monarch. The community leader prayed to Allah to grant the Emir long life as well as sound health to enable himself, Allah and humanity for a longer time. Meanwhile, the Emir of Ilorin and Chairman Kwara State Traditional Rulers Council, Maimat Taba Ibrahim Sulugambari CFR, has expressed his deep appreciation to Nigerians for celebrating him on his 29th coronation anniversary as the 11th Emir of Ilorin. In a statement issued on Tuesday by his spokesman, Abdul Aziz Arawana disclosed the monarch as overwhelmed by the large turn and avalanche of goodwill messages as well as fervent prayers offered to him during the historic event. Ibrahim Sulugambari especially thanked the Sardauna of Ilorin and Executive Governor of Kwara State, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, for his exceptional leadership qualities and show of love at all times to the dynasty. He also expressed his gratitude to the people of Kwara State, associations, groups, public office holders, as well as private individuals for several events such as empowerment programs to mark his 29 years anniversary on the throne. The Emir, however, restated his desire for the people of Ilorin Emirate, Kwarans and Nigerians at large to continue to love each other in order to sustain the peaceful coexistence in the society and attract more development to the grassroots. He therefore commended governments at all levels for putting in place numerous infrastructural developments that have brought modernization to Kwara State and made the state to be unique across the country. He prayed for more prosperity, peace and harmony in Nigeria and the global world at large. African countries at COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan today launched an implementation plan of the integrated strategy on weather forecasting with hopes that the continent's capacity to report early warning and action will prevent loss of lives before disasters occur. Charles Alpha reports from the African Pavilion in Baku.
Early and accurate weather forecasting, getting the right and early data preparedness. These delegates from Ghana, Nigeria, the Gambia, among others, think can help save lives and prevent a catastrophic impact of climate change. The implementation plan, they believe, will promote technological transfer, invest in meteorological infrastructure, and empower nations to effectively monitor weather climate situations as well as water levels.
A very good strategy which will allow us, in terms of a continent, to work directly with our member states and elaborate their own national meteorology.
Most African weather infrastructure, they believe, is either obsolete or dilapidated, and implementing this plan will depend largely on stable power system to foster uninterrupted early warning reporting.
Over the last year, if you look at it, 90% of the energy investments went into other places, geographies other than Africa. And Africa, in countries like Africa that we have, where more than half the population today lives, they struggle without being able to have the same thing that he said, the access. So one of those things we have looked at is the root cause of this problem.
Adequate, accurate and timely weather reporting by the Meteorological Agency all around Africa. The African Union and I've done a part. The organizers of this event at the African Pavilion say it can't happen without leveraging renewable energy. It means that when there is no stable power supply, this meteorological agency can't do accurate data forecasting. And so there has to be a gradual move from unstable power supply to renewable energy to be able to save lives and monitor the climate change that we all are experiencing today. From Baku, Azerbaijan, Charles Alpha, Nta News.
Despite the sacrifices they make, both in times of conflict and in the aftermath, Nigerian female veterans embody the spirit of perseverance that endures long after they have hung up their boots. Official inauguration of the Female Military Veterans Association at the Army Resource Center Abuja means they will no longer battle their challenges alone, as the association is poised to address their issues and ensure reintegration into civilian life. Nta News reports.
Sacrifices made by female veterans for the country are not in doubt, but some are known to be battling some life challenges as a result of their career choice. The inauguration of Female Military Veterans Association, the founder says, marks the dawn of a long overdue recognition for these women who have served in Nigeria's armed forces.
We are going to have an office throughout the country, every local government, to get in touch to whoever that has served in the military before, to see how we can help them.
While they still benefit from the Nigerian Legion overall responsibilities, they will now particularly and specifically cater for their membership.
Some of the veterans who had long stood at the front lines and government representatives shared their thoughts, lending support to the movement.
It's a forum for females. It will advance the cause of females. It will make females available to serve in other spheres in the country, so that when you retire, you don't just stay at home. All the skills and experiences you have had, you are not able to use it.
You are creating a platform that ensures the recognition, respect, and support that female veterans deserve.
As the ceremony draws to a close, the veterans are urging both government and society to acknowledge sacrifices made by female veterans and ensure their life after service is not defined by neglect. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, Nta News.
As flood water recedes in Lokoja and other parts of Kogi State, victims of the disaster are gradually returning to their homes from IDP camps. However, other challenges persist, as some residents have returned to find their homes boggled, while others face the urgent need to fumigate their houses to make them habitable. Jonathan Omajali in this report takes a look at their struggles and how the government is addressing these pressing needs.
The situation in this area is just too bad. We've all vacated almost 2 weeks ago.
The past 3 months echoed with the cries of Lokoja residents as their homes were submerged in floods, forcing many to seek refuge at various IDP camps set up by the state government.
Throughout this period, we camped more than 28,000 displaced persons.
Leah Godwin, a resident of Adankulo, was one of those who sought shelter at the IDP camp at St. Luke's Primary School. Now, as flood waters recede in most areas, the camp population is dwindling, and it is time for Leah to return. But there is fresh problem back home, as her house was boggled while she was away.
It don't dry, but the reason why I'm still here is because of the wire that they pack. They bill me about 350.
Her house, like many returnees' homes, also needs fumigation as they may harbor snakes and other dangerous reptiles.
Where we are still here because some of us are scared because of the snake, all those things. So we need to wait for some time to see how we chemical the house so that those things can move out before we can pack into our house.
Mukhtar Tima, Executive Secretary of the State Emergency Management Agency, assure that the government is addressing this need.
Some professionals are going to go in by 4 p.m. today. I'm going to meet with them so that by tomorrow we swing into action to see what we can do to make sure to rehabilitate such places, and then the people can go back to their respective homes. We've started the post-disaster needs assessment. What were really actual the disaster affect?
The victims are, however, grateful to the state government for meeting essential needs such as providing water, solar power and installing fans, which helped make camp life more manageable. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.